My colleague, Ukrainian journalist Victoria Roshchyna, was captured by Russian occupying forces in Ukraine and has died in Russian captivity. The grim touch to the tragedy adds a sad fact: a salvation was coming. Victoria was about to be swapped in a next prisoner swap scheduled, according to Petro Yatsenko, a representative of the coordinating staff for the treatment of prisoners of war.
Everything was done to bring her back. Moreover, preliminary agreements had been reached. Victoria was supposed to return home soon. Defense intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine.
I know someone who is a father and his little 5 years old daughter is waiting for a third operation, as 50% of her little body has been severely burned in a fire caused by a Russian missile explosion. I know many people whose children, relatives, parents died, murdered by Russia in this way or another, burnt, shot, drowned, raped, tortured to their death, solely for being Ukrainians. And I know it is nothing new. It is a genocide, and it happened many times before in history of humankind, with Jews, with Armenians, with Tatars, Chinese, with many peoples and nations, you name it. As xenophobia is nothing new to us as humanity, as species. And I know this war is not the first one and not the last one, unfortunately. And Victoria's death is yet another tragedy, a new separate one, and where more people will suffer, where those who knew her will suffer, those who loved her, those who worked with her. And I know as a fact that you, my beloved audience, won't remember her name for long. As more casualties and victims of this terrible war surely follows shortly, some even nameless, and we never hear of them anymore. But I also know that we talk about Victoria Roshchyna right now, and we remember her for what she did for Ukraine as a journalist. Victoria was and always will remain a Ukrainian journalist who worked for Hromadske and also wrote for Ukrainian media outlets. In 2022, she received the International Women's Media Foundation Award for Courage in Journalism. Roshchyna disappeared on August 3rd in the temporarily occupied area, the last day she was in contact. The first info about her location emerged in May 2024, when Russia acknowledged the fact of her detention. Detained by Russia's FSB while reporting on the invasion of Ukraine, Victoria has been forced by FSB to record a video saying that she had not been held captive and that her captors had actually saved her life, but they actually only took it.
Victoria could not be stopped, but exactly this gave us a glimmer of hope. Maybe her sincerity and persuasiveness would save her all of a sudden. But Russian captivity killed her. She was not courageous for the sake of courage. She took a risk because she believed it was her duty. Natalia Humeniuk, founder of the Laboratory of Public Interest Journalism.
Natalia Humeniuk is right and very precise in her choice of words. As Victoria has not died in Russia, she has been killed in Russia. Murdered, as simple as that. As when Russia invades Ukraine and keeps Ukrainians in captivity, depriving them of not only food and proper medication, but a core human value, freedom, on their own land, and Ukrainians die on the very verge of their salvation, that is called a murder, and the perpetrator is called a murderer. And that is exactly what Russia is.